As a permanent resident, you have some of the rights of U.S. citizens. However, there are many important reasons to consider U.S. citizenship. Citizenship offers new rights and privileges and comes with equally important responsibilities. First, as a U.S. citizen, you have the right to remain in the United States. You cannot be deported.
Before I became a U.S. citizen, I worried about changing immigration laws. Now I feel confident that I can stay here for the rest of my life.
U.S. citizens can help more family members get legal status in the U.S. and in a shorter time.
After I became a citizen, my mom came to live with us from Taiwan.
When a parent becomes a U.S. citizen, some minor children become U.S. citizens too.
When I became a citizen, my son got his US citizenship too. All I had to do was fill out an application and pay the filing fee.
Only citizens can vote in federal and state elections. Local elections also limit the right to vote to U.S. citizens.
Now I can vote. My opinion counts. I look forward to voting in every election.
It is faster and easier for U.S. citizens to come back to the United States after traveling. Immigration officials can no longer ask you questions about your status, and you can travel for as long as you want.
When I go to visit my family in Iran, I don't have to worry about staying too long. I can stay as long as I want and it's no problem.
Some jobs with government agencies require U.S. citizenship and may pay more.
After I got my citizenship, I could work at the post office.
Only U.S. citizens can serve on a federal jury. Most states also limit jury service to U.S. citizens. Serving on a jury is an important responsibility for U.S. citizens. Only citizens can run for federal office, to be a U.S. senator or representative in Congress, and for most state and local offices. Some government benefits are only available to U.S. citizens. The rules are not the same in every state. Some financial aid grants, including college scholarships, are available only to U.S. citizens.
When I became a U.S. citizen, my neighbors threw me a party. After becoming a citizen, I feel even more welcome in the U.S.
We welcome you to the United States, and we are happy that you want to become a U.S. citizen.
To start learning English free and to prepare to become a U.S. citizen, go to usalearns.org and select the Start Now button. Before you apply to become a U.S. citizen, you must meet several requirements. Depending on your situation, there are different requirements that may apply to you. As you watch this video, ask yourself, do I meet these requirements? Requirement number 1. You must be at least 18 years old when you apply for naturalization using the N-400 form. Do you meet this requirement? If you are 18 or older when you apply, then yes, you meet this requirement. Requirement number 2. You must be a permanent U.S. resident for 5 years, unless you are married to a U.S. citizen. Do you meet this requirement? Requirement number 3. If you are married to a U.S. citizen and have been living with that same spouse for 3 years, then you can apply for citizenship after you've been a permanent resident for 3 years. Do you meet this requirement? Requirement number 4. You must live in the state or the USCIS district where you apply for citizenship for at least 3 months. Do you meet this requirement? Requirement number 5. You must have resided continuously in the United States for the last 5 years and be physically present at least 30 months of the last 5 years. Ask yourself, during the last 5 years, did I live in the United States without taking long trips out of the country? Was I in the United States for at least 30 months during the last 5 years? Please note that if you're married to a U.S. citizen, the amount of time for this requirement is shorter. Do you meet this requirement? Requirement number 6. You must be a person of good moral character. The law has special rules about what good moral character is. Most people have good moral character. You do not have to be perfect. Please read the N400 application for more questions about good moral character. Do you meet this requirement? Requirement number 7. You must support the principles of the U.S. Constitution. Ask yourself this question: do I believe strongly in the United States form of government? And do I support the democratic principles of the United States? Do you meet this requirement? Requirement number 8. You can read, write, speak, and understand basic English. Most people will be interviewed in English. However, some older people who have had their green card a long time can be interviewed in their native language. Also, people with disabilities can get accommodations, and some people can get a medical exception. Do you meet this requirement? If you need help learning more English, this course will help you. You will practice reading, writing, speaking, and understanding basic English. Requirement number 9. You must have a basic understanding of U.S. history and government. During the naturalization interview, most people take a short U.S. history and government test. Ask yourself, am I prepared to answer questions about U.S. history and government? If you need to learn more about U.S. history and government, this course can help you. Do you meet the requirements to become a U.S. citizen? We hope that the answer is yes. If you have questions about your eligibility, please talk with a qualified legal service provider. To start learning English free and to prepare to become a U.S. citizen, go to usalearns.org and select the Start Now button. People who live in a democracy enjoy freedom and many rights. We also have responsibilities. Citizens have some different rights and responsibilities than non-citizens. All people living in the U.S. have many rights under the First Amendment. We have the rights to free speech, free expression, and freedom of the press. We have freedom of assembly and the right to petition the government. In addition, we have the right to bear arms, and we also have freedom of religion. These rights are for all people in the United States, citizens and non-citizens. Some rights are for U.S. citizens only. For example, only citizens can vote in federal elections. There is no law that requires voting, but all citizens over age 18 may vote. Citizens can also run for federal office. They can try to be elected as a senator or representative. Naturalized citizens have served in Congress, but only native-born citizens can run for president. Of course, people in the United States also have responsibilities that come with these rights. For example, all workers have the responsibility to pay income tax every year. The last day to send in income tax forms is April 15th. One responsibility of citizens and non-citizens is only for men. All men between 18 and 26 years old must register for the Selective Service. When you register, you tell the government that you will serve in the military if necessary. You are not joining the military when you register. Another responsibility only for U.S. citizens is to serve on a jury when needed. If you receive a letter about jury service, you must respond. Applying for U.S. citizenship is a long process. The final step at your naturalization ceremony is to take an oath of allegiance to the United States. With this oath, you make several serious promises. When you make the oath of allegiance, you promise to be loyal to the U.S. and not to other countries. You promise to defend the Constitution and obey U.S. laws. You also promise to serve in the military or serve the United States in another way if the government needs your help. Many people come to the United States for the freedom and liberty we enjoy in our country. Along with this freedom comes the responsibility of loyalty to the laws, to our fellow citizens, and to the country. To start learning English free and to prepare to become a U.S. citizen, go to usalearns.org and select the Start Now button. Be a smart buyer. Selecting a good legal provider is a lot like buying a car, but it's even more important. You'll want to shop smart. Before you select an attorney or other legal provider, it's important to look under the hood, kind of like when you buy a car. As part of the shopping process, there are many things you can do to select the best possible legal help. First, find a qualified legal services provider. Someone who is qualified, has the appropriate license to help you. Second, you should always ask questions when you talk with a legal service provider. And you should always talk to 2 or more legal service providers to make sure you're getting the best quality legal help at the best price. When you buy a new car, you would never just buy the first one you see, would you? You'll want to shop, check, and compare. Be sure to check each provider's license. You should ask if the helper is an attorney or accredited representative. Accredited representatives can give legal advice on some immigration issues, and they can help with citizenship forms. Most accredited representatives can't go to court. Always get a second or third opinion before you decide who to hire. And don't use anyone who doesn't follow the rules explained in this video. You should compare providers before you pay someone to represent you. Look for a provider who will answer your questions and tell you your options. Do not hire or pay anyone who says, "Trust me," without answering your questions. Don't hire anyone who guarantees that you will win your case. And don't hire anyone who promises you a work permit or visa right away, without explaining how you qualify. Remember, almost all immigration processes take time. Who can provide you with legal help as you try to become a U.S. citizen? There are 2 main types of providers who can help you fill out forms and collect documents for your case. They are lawyers and non-profit agencies with accredited representatives. How can you tell if a lawyer is qualified? You should look for a lawyer who specializes in immigration law. Ask the lawyer for his or her state bar number. Each state's bar keeps a list of licensed lawyers. contact your state's bar website to make sure that the person is licensed. If you need help finding your state's bar, you can ask a librarian. Is the accredited representative qualified? It is important to make sure that your accredited representative is qualified or authorized to help you. Visit the U.S. Department of Justice website to make sure the representative is on the list. Do not use a helper who is not on this list. Warning: do not hire anyone who advertises as a notario. In the United States, notarios are not lawyers. The person you hire must be honest. If the person pretends to be a lawyer, you should walk away. To start learning English free and to prepare to become a U.S. citizen, go to usalearns.org and select the Start Now button. There are many types of immigration fraud, or scams. They mostly involve dishonest people trying to steal your money. Along with losing money, these scams can cause you problems with immigration. Fraud can even get you deported. So don't be tricked. Here are a few scams to avoid. The first scam we want to tell you about is called the 10-year green card scam. With this one, the scammer says something like,
"Look, if you've been in the United States for 10 years or more, you qualify to get a green card. You need to pay me money to apply."
If someone tells you this lie, do not give them any money. They cannot apply for you. Only a judge can allow you to stay in the U.S. if you have lived here at least 10 years. It is very hard to get this approval, and it has many requirements. You cannot apply for it unless you are already in immigration court. Another scam is the telephone scam. With this one, the scammer calls your phone and says he's from the immigration department. He says there's a problem with your naturalization application and that you need to pay a fee using your credit card. He says that if you don't pay now, your naturalization application will be canceled. If you get a call like this, do not give them any money. USCIS will never call you and ask for money on the phone. Protect your friends and family. People who are undocumented are sometimes told lies or scammed. With this one, the scammer tells people that they can fill out a form to get a work permit only, without applying for something else with immigration. The scammer makes you pay money to apply.
You can just apply for a work permit.
If someone tells you this, don't do it. There is no such thing as only applying for a work permit. The truth is that to get a work permit, you must apply for another immigration benefit, like asylum or lawful permanent residency. Ask the legal helper what applications he or she wants to submit. Another scam is the disabled child scam. With this one, the scammer would say something like,
"If your child is sick or disabled and you've been in the U.S. for 10 years, you qualify to be a U.S. citizen."
If someone tells you this, do not believe them. Do not give them any money because it is almost impossible to qualify for this program. You can only apply if you are already in immigration court and meet many requirements. Only a judge can allow you to stay in the U.S. if you have lived here at least 10 years and can show that a family member will suffer hardship. It is very difficult to get this approval, and it has many requirements. You cannot apply for it unless you are already in immigration court. This last scam we want to tell you about relates to people who act like attorneys when they're really not attorneys. In many Spanish-speaking countries, an attorney is called a notario. In the United States, a notary public is not an attorney. A notary public is only qualified to be an official witness when papers are signed. A notary public cannot go with you to your interview with immigration, and they cannot go with you to court. Make sure you know if the person is an attorney and if he or she is telling the truth.
I'm an attorney.
No, you're not. If a notary public tells you that she can help you with your immigration paperwork, don't do it. It is important to find qualified help. Selecting legal providers carefully will protect you and save you money. To start learning English free and to prepare to become a U.S. citizen, go to usalearns.org and select the Start Now button. In this video, you will learn about important red flags related to becoming a U.S. citizen. If you have any of these red flags, it does not necessarily mean that you can't apply for naturalization, but you must talk to a qualified legal expert before you send in your N-400 application form. The legal expert will tell you if you actually do have a problem and how you can best explain the problem to the Immigration Service. The first red flag question is, did you make trips outside of the U.S. for more than 6 months? The next question is, did you move to another country after you got your green card? Did you get your permanent resident card through asylum, and then you traveled back to your home country? Were you supposed to pay child support? Have you ever not paid the child support? Did you vote in the U.S. or register to vote in the U.S.? Have you ever not filed taxes? Do you owe any taxes now? Are you male, and did you not register for the Selective Service or the U.S. military service between the ages of 18 and 26? Were you discharged from the military service in the United States? In your country, did you ever use weapons or do any violent activities, even if it was part of the military or a war? Have you ever been convicted of a crime? If the answer is yes, you should tell a legal representative. Have you ever been arrested? If the answer is yes, you need to tell a legal representative that you were arrested, even if you were not convicted, and even if your record was erased or cleaned. Did you lie or commit fraud to get your green card or public benefits? Or were you not eligible for your green card when you got it? Have you ever been deported? Are you in immigration court now? Does some information on your application not match the information you wrote on other immigration papers? For example, this woman wrote that she was in Mexico visiting family on May 1st, 2017. And she wrote that she worked in California on May 1st, 2017. How could she possibly be in 2 places at the same time? That information does not match. Did you help someone enter the U.S. illegally, even if it was a relative? Did you ever say or write that you are a U.S. citizen? For example, this man told a U.S. official that he was a U.S. citizen. He also wrote on a form that he was a citizen, and he's not. Do you have a drinking problem? If yes, it is helpful to discuss a drinking problem with a legal helper before applying to be a U.S. citizen. Did you earn money by illegal gambling to support yourself? In addition to these important questions, you should also know about illegal drugs. Even though some drugs, like marijuana, may be legal in your state, they are not legal for immigration purposes. We just learned about many red flag questions. Do you think you might have any of these problems? If yes, it does not mean that you can't apply or that you won't qualify to become a U.S. citizen. It does mean that you should check with a qualified legal provider to protect yourself. To start learning English free and to prepare to become a U.S. citizen, go to usalearns.org and select the Start Now button. The system of government in the United States is a democracy. This means that U.S. citizens vote to choose the people who serve in our government. Because of this, our government representatives have the responsibility to listen to citizens and make decisions based on citizens' opinions. In fact, American democracy only works because people are active and involved in government. Voting is one of the best ways for citizens to participate in democracy. When we vote, we elect people to represent us in local, state, and national government. For example, people in every state choose state representatives and a governor in elections. In national elections, we elect representatives and senators to serve in Congress in Washington, D.C. Every 4 years in November, we vote for the U.S. President and Vice President. Many citizens also join a political party. There are several political parties in the U.S., but the two major parties are the Republican and the Democratic parties. Another way to participate is to help a political campaign for a candidate you support. In a campaign, people organize events and try to convince other citizens to vote for their candidate. Volunteers working on a campaign make phone calls to other citizens or pass out information about the candidates in their neighborhood. You may want to join a civic group or community group that is active in your area. You could also write a letter to a local newspaper to explain why you oppose or support an issue or policy in your community. Because government representatives are elected to represent the opinions of the citizens, they need to know your opinions. It's important to know who represents you in the government so you can contact those people. If you have a particular issue that you support or oppose, you can call, email, or write letters to your government representatives. You can give your opinion or ask for changes. And someday, you may decide to run for office so that you can have a major role in government decisions and policies. There are many ways to participate in democracy. A democracy is strongest when many people are active in shaping the government. To start learning English free and to prepare to become a U.S. citizen, go to usalearns.org and select the Start Now button.